these boxes or what? We've got a flight to England.
Hang on, son. I want to plug in my place.
Morning, everybody.
I'm very technical these days.
Make sure that I can be heard. Give me a second.
Jesus, never talk about home station.
Give it a little bit for some people to get on, and we'll see. Make sure that I have the music on and everything. Oh, it has the commercial going on right now. Let me move this over here. So I can see the chat. There we go.
There's nothing like hitting the waves.
Alright. There we go. I think we're good now. Good morning. Good morning. Today's opening day for baseball. So I don't know if you're a baseball fan or not, but it's going to be a good season. All of our good players are hurt right now, so we'll see how well we do on the opening day. Clearly, I'm an Astro fan. Oh, okay, we got 1 minute before the chart closes, and we'll start flying through them. I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee, and I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
Is a powerful thing.
Ask your eczema specialist how Dupixent can help heal your skin from within.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storm
So no alarm went off. Let's look at them.
So alive, make it last forever. Stop in time, yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight.
All right. So what do you say about the setup posted in the Discord before? Is it valid? Let me see. Oh, you have the. I can turn those on too. I have. I don't usually keep those on because I do have them. That is a setting on there that will help people to see which direction it's going. White is down, black is up. But I don't usually keep them on because I like to see the charts. But let me see. Yeah, no, that's a good one. You're oh, you have them back. You have them backwards than me, but that's okay. Your momentum hasn't pushed down. I can't see which coin that is. Is it Bitcoin? Let's go look at it. Trying to see the Bitcoin on the 1-day chart. Oh, I don't think Bitcoin. Yeah, it's Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin is going to make new all-time highs right now. But let's go look at it. So here's the day chart. Clearly is a divergence.
What does the name James K. Polk mean to you?
I wonder why yours
Not
is
much, if anything at all, and that's a shame.
your
Especially considering all he accomplished in just 4 years, from 1845 to
your
1860.
mom indicator doesn't line up with mine.
President of the United States, he acquired the Oregon
Mine says we're
Territory,
maxed out. Yours says that it's pushing up.
the annexation of
So,
Texas, and then waged
but yeah,
successful
right now you have a new high, but a new higher high right here and a new lower high right here. That means we have a divergence. The problem with trade or with looking at that on a higher time frame is it's a little dangerous because when you go to higher time frames, you have no choice but to have really huge stop losses and take profits. So if you can stomach that, then that would be good. I personally can't. I do because like if I trade 5,000 per trade on MT5 and we go 5% negative, that's a huge stop loss to me. I'd rather go to the lower time frames and scalp it all day long. But what I was working on, what I am working on there is a new adding to trying to update the system or the script. And what I mean by that is when we have these movements like this, you know this is heading down, but this doesn't mean that we're going to change directions because our two EMAs are bullish. So you know that this correction is just a temporary correction. So if you started taking all these positions right here, all the red ones, as long as you do know that this is just a small correction, you're going to be okay.
in 1823. There he came to the attention of General
But here is where you really want to get it at. Remember, when you're trying to get into a reversal or in a continuation pattern, you want to wait for the continuation to happen. And so like right here, you know that this one most likely isn't going to be a true correction because you're still pushing down over here. So, and we really want to get way down here into it. We're not nowhere near the gray, but we want to get down there before we head back up. So when it broke down below the 0, now you're looking for it.
Was right there with him as an advisor and confidant.
But right here is the best one. But even if you took this position because you got excited and you went negative, there's no reason to panic. Especially, I mean, if you're using like really high leverage, like 80, 90, 100% leverage, you probably got liquidated, right? But if you take this position and you're doing 5, 10, even 50, you're not going to get liquidated. I think 50 you have to go 1.1 or 1.2. Yeah, even at 50 you got liquidated. So that's one of the reasons that I don't like using high leverage, because I'd rather just wait for the entry and take a. First of all, I only use 5 or 10 leverage anyway. Anything after that is really risky.
Everyone assumed that Polk's once promising political career was over. Then 1 year later, in 1844, everything changed again. The reason the new Republic of Texas had achieved its independence from Mexico in 1846.
But yeah, let's just go through these real quick.
Had been seeking to become part of the United States ever since. Fearing a war with Mexico, Congress wavered on Texas annexation for almost a decade.
And like you had this massive pump up on Litecoin. Well, do you know that it's going to stay there? Well, you're going sideways right here, so you don't know if this pump up. But anytime that it pumps up like this and your moving averages are pretty much pointing down. I mean, no, I know your shorter time frame EMA is not, but the top ones are. The top one is, and now you know that anything above this, what do you have? You have a divergence. You could take that position all day long, but we didn't see it, obviously. What time was that? 2 in the morning. I definitely wasn't awake at 2 in the morning.
And then Clay for the presidency. At the age of 49, young Hickory became the youngest president the country had ever had.
We just got a new partnership too with if you do go to that website that I sent you, you can go look at our new partnership that we have a bot type thing for Forex now, which is kind of cool.
The belief that American democracy should extend from coast to coast, enveloping the entire continent. And that may be why today we do not always give him the credit he deserves.
Just going sideways on us. Nice little pump ups. And another thing that really sucks about these pump ups is that it throws your indicators off, because your indicators want to have it organically like this. Like this one's perfect. But when you start having this junk right here, well, look what happens. Your indicators start getting jacked up for a little bit. So you gotta be careful with that too. I mean, this one really threw it off. But look, you caught that movement though. If you wanted to take that movement, you caught it on the backside too. So just keep that in mind, that when you do have these pump ups, that usually means that it's going to throw off your indicators for a couple hours or so, depending on what type of chart you're trading on. On the 4-hour chart, you know that we're still bullish on the 4-hour chart, but even though that it's coming down, so anything within this, let me turn this stupid crosshairs off. Anything in between these is going to be a good entry to go long and use your stop loss as your 50 EMA. Doesn't look like we're going to have too much trading possibilities right now. This was your entry right now. We have EMAs are above, and then your one oscillator is pointing down, one oscillator is pointing up. You really want confluence with your oscillators and your EMAs. But that doesn't mean you can't go into trades. So we'll keep looking. We'll get into at least one before we end this live. Now we're starting to see what happens when you're between those two moving averages. You start having, look at that, you start having ping pong stuff going on. That's why it's always good to not try to catch a fallen knife. You can try to trade the resistance the first time that it touches it, but to try to go in because it's dipping on you is just really dangerous because you don't know if that's just a fake pump down or a fake dump or whatever, or a fake pump up or whatnot. So you got to be careful. That's why I like using closing times, because there's no guessing. You know exactly what the price action is at that time. You know exactly the price. There's no guessing. Got 6 more minutes. Should start having alerts too. Let me delete these alerts so we can have a fresh start. My question is, not necessarily to anybody, but I question where this money's coming from. That's coming into crypto. If this money is new money coming into crypto, that's a good sign, I would say. But if this money is coming from the banking crisis and the banks that are filing for bankruptcy, and that is the money that's coming in here, that's not good in my opinion. That means that the people that are pumping this up are going to crash it on people that going from the dollar or the banking system into crypto. That means that there's a chance that they're going to hold this and they're going to crash it on people, and a bunch of people are going to lose some money. So where is this money coming from? If it's organically grown, then that's great. But simple stuff like this tells you that it's not organically grown. This is people, big people taking money, because that's tons of money that just came out of it. 1.21%. That 1.82% down, a dip. It tells you someone with really big pockets sold off on people. Well, first of all, they pumped it up and then they sold it on people. I'm going to get to that status one day where I can just pump it and dump it on people. And sit back and smoke a cigar or something. I don't know. See, like right here, it's going up on you. So if you gamble with this, you're going against the trend, right? Because the trend is downwards. So you got to be careful with that. You know the trend is downwards. Here's where, man, if we was at 5 in the morning, that was the really good entry. You could have wrote it down and then got stopped out right here on your EMA, or held it still and ride that down. So yeah, it's I should turn on the notifications on the crossing of the EMA. The problem that you have with that, yeah, try it with the low volume ones. The problem with having the alert set on the EMA is that when you start seeing this, you're gonna get an alert every single freaking candlestick, and it's annoying. It's pain in the butt. But if you can figure out, if I can figure out how to create an alert that'll trigger on there and not give you an alert every freaking candlestick, that'd be great. Three more minutes. Let's see if we get some. Look, see when it gets in between those moving averages, dude. When it gets in between those moving averages, all you have is some ping pong movement going on, and it's really, really dangerous to try to trade.
So I didn't think I needed Swiffer until I saw how easily it picked up my hair every time I dried it. It only takes
We used to have an office where I had traders in there watching these charts 24/7, and then COVID killed all that. But well, I'll get back to that, where we have live trading 24/7, not for YouTube, but for the members, and I'll have employees again. Just COVID killed all that crap. People not wanting to show up to work because they were scared and wearing a bunch of masks. Probably shouldn't use that word on here. I get flagged by YouTube. See, in between those moving averages, super dangerous to trade. And your oscillators are not confluent with one another. They're actually diverging from one another. So that's not a good sign either. And when you're going like this, these little waves like this, you know that there's going to be a breakout. You just don't know which way yet. Can you... Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I didn't see my light on my audio stuff. Just 40 seconds. But can't you work from home? Oh no, I can work from home because it's my company, so I can work from home. But when you have employees that are managing millions and millions of dollars, you don't want them at home because they're going to get distracted by the kids, they're going to get distracted by the wife, they're going to get distracted by being lonesome and then start drinking and do stupid stuff. No. I did that before, and that doesn't work. You have to have an office for them to come to, and so you can hold them accountable. Litecoin. See, Litecoin, you're not making lower lows. You're just going right here. Your oscillator is just going right here. Yeah. So if you did gamble, you're obviously going to want to go down because the price action is or the oscillators or the moving averages are all pointing down. But this is the type of times where if you're really going to gamble, you want to have it in your favor. And so what you really want is to try to get up here in this zone right here to take that position. You want as much probability on your side. So anything in this area, you would want to try to short. So this is where you're going. If you're going to gamble, this is where you're going to want to try to short at. Not right here, because you're in resistance right here. Look at all this resistance right here. This is all resistance right there. And so if you take a short right here, your probability of chances of going down is slim to none. What you really want to do is, if you're going to gamble on this short, especially when everything's going flatlined against the 50 and the 0, what you really want is to have the probability chances in your side. And so this is where you would want to go short at, if getting into there. What was the other one? EOS. EOS is pumping. But look, see, now you have it heading down, and now you have a pump up. Why are we having all these pump ups? Because I don't think this is an organic grown chance or an organically grown cryptocurrency market right now. I think the whales are messing with this, and they're going to dump it on people. And so that's why it's really important. That's why one of the things we love about MT5 is you stay in the dollar. You're trading contract for differences. You're trading CFDs against this. So you can have a stop loss, a quick stop loss, ride it up if you want and have a quick stop loss. And guess what? You protect your money. If in cryptocurrency, if you say that we're going long here and you have this on there on Binance, for example, or any other exchange, you have this pump up and you put this little stop loss out and you market buy or market sell, your market is way down, so you lose a huge percentage. Let's see what the other charts look like. Like right here, this junk right here, this all tells you that it's not organically grown right now. You have these massive dumps and then massive pump ups, and another dump right here. This is not organically grown. This is where they started pumping it. See, like it's nice little smooth movements up. You have my pump ups right here, but it matches with your stuff. So yeah, it doesn't look like a good time to trade, at least. Come on, update. Okay. So again, like we're fixing a crossover here. So if you're going to gamble, you're going to want to go short, right? Because this is the price action and everything is heading down. Right here, you're at the 50 mark on here. This is a dead zone to me. I don't even trade this because it's so scary unless you're going with the trend. Like if you're doing a continuation and you do it right here, then that's fine. But right now, look, we're just going sideways. We've been going sideways for, I mean, you had little pump ups and downs, but sideways. Oh, wrong tool. A day and 5 hours, you're just going sideways. So you had nice little pump ups, but again, it got rejected quite a bit. So it's probably going to be one of our slow days to trade. But we will get into one trade before I get off here, at least one, and we'll just wait for it. Like right here, you're coming up, man. See, this is why it's so important to try to get as close to these gray zones as possible. So here's an example of where you'd want to take the opposite direction on there, or continuation. Sorry. So you're coming out, everything's pushing up. Here's a little correction. Here is your entry right here. Even if you got into this entry, which just for the record, this is the entry you want to get in. You went negative a little bit, but that's okay. But this is your entry position right there. You could have got into that entry right there and just used your EMA. If you close below it, then you close out the trade, because you can't win them all, right? But this is the entry. If you saw this is the true entry to get into right here. This is a continuation pattern, and you could use your stop loss at the beginning of there and do 1-to-1 or 1-to-5, whatever you want to do. 1-to-1 is sufficient. And look, you hit it. You went sideways for a little bit, but you know that everything was pushing up, so you know that you're going to stay there. This is the only time that I use the right at the 50 mark on your mom indicator to go back into the trend, if it's going with the trend. Right now we don't have a trend. We do, it's sideways. But if you did go into a trade, it's definitely going to want to be short, that's for sure. Yeah, so you can't let this fool you either. So when you do this, you're going to lose more times than you win. You have everything going sideways on you. You have a correction going on. Maybe it'll head back down, but really, this is not, in my opinion, this is not worth gambling. If it gets into this box, and you can continuously move that box wherever you think that you want to go, but yeah. So right now, the only trade you would want to have on Litecoin is a down position. But you'd want it in your favor, though. Here we turned over. We're heading down. We made this is a inverted scalp, by the way. So you gotta be careful with that. Usually that goes like this, and go straight up. So we gotta be careful with that. But again, you have buy zones that if you get into that buy zone, there's no reason not to take that position. These are all buy zones right here, especially when it's going right there. This is actually a good entry right here, but you had against it, but whatever. See, EOS is pumping up. This would have been your entry to go long. A red candlestick with everything's pushing up above the EMAs. Even though that this is a prime example where I can't stand price action, because if you use price action only right here, that candlestick pattern, these two candlesticks right here, is a bearish formation. This is a bearish formation right there. This is a hanging man. This means that this is going to head down on that candlestick pattern. Well, you know that's a bunch of baloney. Why? Because you have this oscillator and this oscillator pushing up. That tells you that the oscillators are going to give you a better entry. So anytime you see this right here, and it looks like a bearish formation, that's baloney. Look at your momentum. Your momentum indicators and your leading indicators are all pushing up. So this is just a small correction, and you could have taken that position. Doesn't Link also have a divergence on the MACD? There's the Link. Let's see. Broke down below there, and we have a lower low, and we have a higher, but it hasn't turned black on us first. You got to wait for it to turn black on us. But yeah, that's a divergence. Anything below this line is going to come back to that line, unless we make a lower low on our oscillator. And there it is right there. So yeah, we do have a divergence on there. But again, you're going to go against that trend, so you got to be careful that you have a good entry on that one. But yeah, no, good spotting it. That was a great job. Look at all those nasty movements in MAT. Sol is pushing up. Sol has a divergence also. Anything below that, as long as you don't make another one. Man, I know I said this on several videos. If you see this right here, there's absolutely no reason. 10% in a 20-minute chart, that booger ain't gonna stay there. That thing's coming right back down to where it happened. So if you see this right here, I gamble with that every single time. I'll put $100 into it and put a stop loss at 50% and ride it, but right back down to where it is, and you make money off of it. You make money more times than you lose. I think I've probably lost on that particular gamble thing. Maybe I've probably done it, man, 500 times, and I probably only lost like 4 or 5 times. And a lot of them were on Shiba, because that thing pumps like stupid crazy. But yeah, this is a gamble that I will do every single time you could short this. Or on the opposite side, if you have a nice dump on you, you can take a long position, and you don't even have to use a stop loss. You just put a long. If it does dump on you like this, then you could put a long position on it and hold it if you have to. You're gonna tie up $100, and if you tie up $100 for a month to make $100 off of that, dude, that's I'll do that every time. XRP jumped way up there to what, 61 cents or something like that. Now it's back down to 53. You have a massive cup right here on XLM. If you zoom out, you can see it a little bit. We'll mark it. I don't know if this has a... Let's see if it has a... Oh, there it is. Here's your little cup. Here's your handle. That handle can come down more and form it. And here's the low right here, so you can have it way down here if it forms that way. The handle part does not matter. It's the cup that what you use to measure.
Making a to-do list today? Make it easy on yourself. Just write down Reese's, then write down.
But it does look like a cup when you look at it.
Kind of done for the day.
Yeah, see, Litecoin is dumping on us. But see, again, I don't gamble with this. Especially if I'm trading other people's money on MT5. You wouldn't want me to gamble. you would want, even if you miss this movement, you will lose more money trying to catch this movement than you will making that money. If you're going to try to catch that movement, it should have been way over here when you're in this zone right here. This is where you want to do it, where everything started turning red on you. But right now, even though it's dumping, I don't gamble with that. So one thing that also, if it does on the higher time frames, when you have this form candlestick pattern, oh, that thing's coming way back down to where it started. So this one doesn't have it. This one has a fully engulfed one, Litecoin, underneath the charts, and it's starting to turn red. So if that does close red down there, oh, dude, that's a no-brainer to short. I mean, we got 10 hours left into that chart. What is today? Today is Thursday? Yes, Thursday. If you can stomach the stop losses being huge, I mean, you could trade on the 2-hour chart with these settings, and you'll be good. It's just, dude, I can't see a position negative $400 or $500. It drives me up the wall. But here was your entry. Like, this is a prime example. This is your true entry right there. And if you had a stop loss at your swing high way back over here, your, what is that, 7661. And your stop loss is 4%, but if you target that, you're gonna have to target 4% to make it worthwhile, right? So you know that you're coming way down here. But dude, you're freaking negative a ton over here. The only way that you would want to make that work is do the red and then the opposite of green. The opposite, which would be green, and then you'd go short, because you know that the price action is pushing down. Anything above that is going to be a divergence also. For example, like right here. Here is your divergence. Anything above that, what happened? It came back down. Sorry. Anything above that came right back down. So if you're going to take those positions, I mean, if you wanted to take those positions, this is you'd have to take all those positions, all three, but you would have been, I mean, you would have made money off of it for sure. So that's the only way that would go in there. When you start seeing this little congregation or whatever the heck it's called, everything's starting to accumulate together, and your price action is going up. Well, look what moved first. Your price action, or your indicators moved first before this broke out. So if you did do this, if you did see this, which I think I actually posted in the thing, an entry on there. When you did do this, you'd want to take these positions off of these red candlesticks, because you want the best position that you possibly can to have everything in your favor. And so the red ones are obviously going to be better. You're taking this position, you would win the next candlestick, 2-hour candlestick, you're up 0.5%. You close out 80% or whatever, and then put a stop loss. You got stopped out, and 2 hours later, guess what? You have another entry. So you take that entry, and now you caught that breakout by seeing this. Price action doesn't tell you that you're going to go up. Only the oscillators tell you you're going up. So you're going to hear me bash price action traders all the time because I think they're crazy. Let's go look at. Now we're having a little pull up. Yeah, anything in this zone right here, that's going to be well worth it. You don't have a another thing that you could use if you have these indicators is you can use them as breakouts also, because the way that they're coded. So right here, I mean this one, the little pump ups, you got to throw out the window. You can't use your indicators when you have a pump up. But like right here is your trend line from point to point, and look, here's your breakout right here. Breakout, you're coming back down. Yeah, so this was your entry. This is laid into the entry, and you missed the entry, so you just wait and look at it. If you had taken that position right here, you would have made a little bit of money, but it looks like it's trying to come back up. The only time this type of trend line won't work is if you're in a trend. If you're in a trend, like a really strong trend, like right here or wherever, you can't use it like that, because then you'll get stopped out quite a bit. So you got to be careful. Close of the chart. No alerts. Look how much this pulled back up. There's a fight going on right now. Everything that has a dip, look at it, is getting bought back up. Yeah. Let's go look at our Binance coins. Jeez. 20%, 32%. 15% up, another 11% up. Look at this pump up. Here's a prime example of a huge pump up. What is that? 80% up. That's clearly not organic. This is organic. See this, how nice and smooth this is? The only bad one we have is CLO. Let's go to the 2-hour chart. Look at this pump up. Yeah, there's absolutely no reason why not to gamble with that. Another 83%. Anytime you see a coin pump up in a candlestick and it's 80, 90, 100%, dude, there's absolutely no reason to put $100 in there and go the opposite way. Right here, you wouldn't want to because this is clearly organic. You know, I could set up all these alerts on some coins. If you give me like, I don't know, whatever, 10, 20, 30 coins you want me to put alerts on, I can put the alerts on there. Put them on the breakouts or whatever. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I still have a sick kid home. Looks like we're starting to come to an end on there. Always think when I see this pattern right here, I always think about the middle finger. There's your middle finger. Good times. Look at XRP sideways. Yeah, it's not a good time to trade. We'll see what this chart closes, and we'll fly through them again and see. Starting to pull back up. Is there a particular coin you want me to look at before we jump off here? Look at it pulling back up. This little dip now is pushing back up. On the on the 20-minute chart? I have a buddy of mine. Yeah, link on 20-minute chart. I have a buddy of mine that has these. He's nuts. I wouldn't recommend doing what he does, but yeah, you had a clear divergence and it pushed down. Even if you took that position when it pushed back down and it went a little bit lower on you, it doesn't matter because you still have a divergence on both of the oscillators. So that doesn't matter. But I have a buddy of mine that trades. He has these set. He had these indicators, and when he sees right here, for example, right here, when it turned black, this when it turns black, he will put a buy order in on that candlestick. So he'll put this buy order in, and he'll do like 0.5 down or 1% down, depending on which coin he does, because he knows that that's going to turn back up on him. I particularly don't do that because I think it's nuts, and again, I can't stand having huge stop losses, but he does. He tends to do it, and he makes really good money doing it. But he has these settings too. But he's not a trader. I mean, he is a trader, but he doesn't do it. He only trades his own money. But yeah, that's what he does. Like right here, he probably wouldn't have done it because he wants to have a deep one or a high pull up one, and like right here, here it is right here. So you go straight up. What is that? This candlestick right there. He knows anything above that candlestick, anything above that is going to come right back down. So he'll dollar cost average all the way up, and then he'll catch those breakouts. He makes really good money, but sometimes his loss is like $1,500 to $2,000. He trades 20,000 at a time. So some of his trades are negative. I think I've seen one trade negative 4,000, but he ended up turning on him because of the way that he does it. But still, me personally, that's nuts. Let's see what, like, how high was it go right here? I mean, you're at -3. So if you put in a buy order, then you had one at 1% or at 1.5 or 1%, you would have 4 different entries. So your average entry would be right there. So really, it's not that bad because you'll dollar cost average in. But would you enter on the line or a little lower? On link, let's go look at it. Let me delete all this junk. So when I try to catch the divergence, I'll show you how I do it. So when I try to catch the divergences on there, I know what I can stomach, right? So, and you'll hear me talk about that quite often. So I know that my ability to stomach is probably going to be 1% or 2% down. So I'll do it all the way down to 2%. And so I'll set this up like this, and it'll stay on your chart like that. Next, I will go right here, and I will do this right here. So I know my first entry that I'm going to want to try to take is right here, which is 7.247. So if I did do this, that is going to be my entry, and my target's going to be this line right here. So let me get that back up there. So I know that if I go in right here, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, and I have 4 entries into this. So if I use $1,000 per se on this entry, I'm going to have 250, 250, 250, and 250. So that would be my entries, and which will give you a dollar cost average of the true entry where you're going to want to at 1% downwards or whatnot. So if you did do that, that's how I do it. As long as you don't come down here and make it, your momentum oscillator is pushing up. So I mean, we're changing directions right now, but that doesn't mean that this is not a good trade. So that's how I set it up, how I catch it. Because if you push down right here and you try to go in there right off the bat, I mean, you're probably pretty close to it. Let me see how close you are to it. You're a little bit of ways off of it on there, but still. So that's how I set it up. This would be your first entry, your second entry, then you would just move this down here like this, and this would be your third, and then your fourth. But if I try to catch divergence, that's how I set it up. Did that help? And you might not even get into that entry because it looks like it's trying to change. So you'll probably have a little dip down, get 1 or 2 entries. Sometimes I do get 4 and then I start getting worried. But as long as I don't have a divergence, like the only time divergences don't work is when you have a really, really, really strong trend. And so they won't work. Like this right here is not a really strong trend. This is not a really strong trend. That's why you had this massive pump up right here. Because look at it. Here is your divergence right here. You're making lower highs, and you're making higher highs on your price action. Well, guess what? Every time it came above this line, it came right back down to that line. Why? Because this was a divergence. Why? Because momentum leads the way. So when you have when you start seeing your divergences, then you could do it. Like right here, this would have been a good example. If I saw it, I would on high coins, you just do it 2%. And look, you had, let's move it all the way over here so we can get a full effect of it. Somewhere right there, you get the idea. So you'd probably got in your entry right here. Here's your first entry. You put that entry in. Well, look what you happened. You went straight in the profit. You did it again. You see the divergence. You know there's a divergence going on. You got into all 4 positions right here, and look what happens. Came right back down to that line and touched it. And you know that this is not that this trend is coming to an end because you know that your momentum indicators are all changing on you. So you would have got into all 4 here. Here's a nice little pump up. You know that pump up's not going to stay there because you have a divergence. So you could have taken into here. You could have done that. Got on all 4 entries again, closed out. Again, all 4 entries, closed out in profit. Right here, you got into maybe 2. You got into at least 1, maybe the second one if right here, and you would have caught that down there. Why? Because you know momentum is key to trading. And look right here, we didn't even get into it. It didn't pump up. It didn't dip on us. Why? Because you have a divergence. Divergences are so amazing to trade in cryptocurrency. But still, you got to have patience, and you got to have understanding of what's going on. Because if you would have taken that position, remember, no matter where you're trading, you're going to have fees, and you got to take those fees into accountability, right? So if you got into that trade and you target it, that's 0.36. Maybe half of that is into fees, right? Because it's usually 0.115 in fees, something like that. So you got to take that into consideration too. Is this little bitty movement worth trading and worth gambling on? No. That's why I have it set up like this. And sometimes if it's like a higher coin, like maybe like EOS or something, I'll have this broken down to, instead of using 2, I will do like maybe 3%, and I'll break it up into still 4 entries. Whatever the 4 entries are, that's what I would do. Here, let's save this chart. I'll put it in there, and then we'll come back and look at it. Copy chart. It's trying to push down there, but it's just, it is what it is. But yeah, that's how I set up the divergence. Now, if you change these settings on here, then you'll throw off everything. So these are the settings that I have, and I've been testing them for quite a while. They're not the traditional settings, so if you change the settings, then you just got to figure out how it works in your favor. But yeah, that's how I set it up. It's trying to push down there. It looks like maybe we'll have like a nice little dip before we push back up. And now look at a Litecoin. Litecoin is pushing back up. This is one of the reasons I don't like taking this trade right here, because you take that trade, you're going to gamble. Maybe you're going to make 0.47 off of this trade. I know it dipped a little bit, but you made 0.47. That doesn't always happen like that. Like right here, here's a prime example. You would have taken that position. Your next candlestick is 0.3. That's not worth the gamble to me, because 0.15 is usually what the fees are, right? Because Binance is 0.07 in and 0.07 out on most of their coins. So 0.15 out, that means your trade, half of your profit is going to fees. That is not worth it to me. And we have low fees on our MT5. The provider that we have is really good. So we have low fees on there. Yeah, see, I told you this is just a really bad time to trade. Not a bad day, just a bad time to trade. Just going, look at all these. This is how people get wrecked. If you start seeing this right here, just go hang out with some buddies or something. Don't try to trade this junk. This is trash. All this sideways action stuff. That's not good. On the 20-minute chart, we are turning on the EOS. So this is what he won't use it on the 20-minute chart. He does it on the 2-hour chart, but he'll start dollar cost and average it all the way up to that, because you know that your momentum is heading down. This little cup and handle, put that over there too. Sideways crap. If I wasn't live, just so you know, if I wasn't live, I would have seen this sideways stuff, and I would be off going doing something else for the next 3 or 4 hours. See, this is the type of stuff that if you see it, man, there's no reason why you wouldn't want to take that position. It actually dropped. Let's go measure where it dropped from the top. Point 0.85 down. There's no reason not to take these, because look at this. This thing always pumps and dumps on you. So no matter if you catch whatever side you catch, you know that you're going to go the opposite direction and make good money off of it. We're trying to break out. So that's another problem that we have. We're trying to break out right now, but it's pushing back up. Let's go look at our link. See, look, link is trying to do its job, but it's not. Another thing is, if you come down here and you touch this, that you still have a divergence. You have a downward movement, and you have a double bottom, if you will, on the oscillator. So as long as you don't make a lower low, you have a divergence, and this one has a long way to go to have a divergence. So that one's good. Yeah. We'll watch this one for a little bit. And the volume is 952,000 in this little short period. I usually don't have volume on my screen because I think I don't think it works that well. I know some people use it as a divergence tool. I'm just not a fan of it. Price action traders will use the volume, but since I don't use the price action, I use indicators, then I don't need it on there. It's trying to get to our first entry, right? And 71.41. Well, let me put that in there. $12 more minutes, and let's see, and we'll see how well we do. See, it's trying to push down. Usually when that happens, there's a nice little dip that happens, and you'll be able to get into a couple of them. Your momentum is pushing down, so maybe we will get into a couple of them. This is why I usually read a book, just waiting for the right entries. Or go read some conspiracy theories online. That's actually kind of cool too. Wait, I do that too. If I am bored, it's so fun to see what people come up with. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's wild stuff, dude. Some of the stuff, is actually true, but some of the stuff is like bizarre. Like they literally they were probably high or drunk when they came up with some of these conspiracy theories because like it doesn't take a lot to read it and be like, yeah, this guy's self-medicated. And it'd be cool if we get into this entry. It's trying real hard. Most of the stuff is just bonkers. Haven't seen much that is actually true. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to see what people come up with. Like, I don't know, it's just wild stuff. See, it's trying to get down there. It's trying its hardest to push down and get down there. I have a TikTok account just so I teach on there also, and I for the Bible stuff that I do, and so I'll follow some of the conspiracy theory people on there, which is kind of funny. Like the moon landing, that's a good one that they say that it's fictitious, or it's you got half the people saying it's fake and half the people saying it's real. And I'm thinking like what is the point of arguing back and forth with if you agree with it or don't agree with it? Like what fruit do you get out of it other than pissing each other off? Like, what are you getting out of it that you have to argue with someone? If they want to believe it or if they don't want to believe it, who cares? Like, some people get so caught up in it that if you think differently of them, they like literally want to fight you. I'm like, dude, calm down, Karen. It's okay. Yeah, it's wild. Man, we're starting to slow down on our custom MACD thingy. So always remember, you always try to look for two entries. Like, this is our entry to go long. Our entry to go short is if we pump up here and we get into this zone over here. Uh, get rid of that. You get in this zone over here. This is going to be our short zone. That's clear resistance for us. So if we pump up here into this zone, we go short. If we go down here, we go long. Always, always, always have two entry positions. If this happens, we're going to do this. If this happens, we're going to do that. So yeah, back to the conspiracy theories. Yeah, the people get so passionate about what they believe that it causes problems. Like during the pandemic outbreak stuff, you got people literally fighting about wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. Like, grow up, people. Who cares? If you don't want to wear the mask, don't wear it. If you want to wear it, wear it. Just shut the heck up and stop being idiots. But I'm 40 years old, and I've realized that most people are stupid. Yeah, I agree with you. It's trying real hard to get down there. 3 more minutes. Let's see if our histogram starts turning black on us. Our Litecoin's pushing back up. See, that was a bad entry. If you did take that entry, that was a bad entry. There's no joke about that. Link is. Yep. And it's pushing up. So yeah. Oops. It's trying. And you have a bullet. Sorry, you have a bearish little pennant thingy trying to be formed. You usually want to have 4 or 5 to be formed, but I mean, sometimes you got to go with what you have. Let me get to the. One minute. It's trying. I think we're gonna turn our histogram black in the next candlestick. Ah, see, it's trying to turn black. Yeah. Slow day for trading. Let's go through these again and we'll jump off here. Litecoins. Yeah, just know that when you start seeing all this moving against the sideways action, just it's not worth trying to get caught up into these trades. You want to have a full body candlestick to break out to start looking for trades. All this junk right here is just going to get you caught up and lose money. Adjust our handle a little bit. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that. Learn something new every day. When you have big wicks on top and bottom, that's another sign. Like all this, dude, this is so not worth it. It's not worth trying to trade. Look at this. Dips and junk. Yeah. Trying to get down there to our entry. Well, this was a waste of hour and 30 minutes. Sorry about that. But I will have my alerts on, so if I see something, I'll jump on here and at least go live for us in Discord. So this was a little pointless. We got a conspiracy theory talked about though. I'll look on it. I'll check it out. I have these alerts set up, so if it does come through, I'll jump back on here and at least for live on Discord and see what we're doing. But other than that, yeah, when you see the sideways market going, the long wicks on top and bottom, it's not worth trading. It's easier just to set back and wait for it to organically grow. Wait for a full body candlestick to form to go through there. Sometimes it's like this, but patience is key into trading. Other than that, I will see you. I will go. What's tomorrow? I will be live tomorrow. So it's Friday, so I'll be live tomorrow. And other than that, if you're in Discord, I will post trade setups if we see them today in Discord. Other than that, I'll see you on the next next live.